How are you going to get more sales during a time it may be harder or purse strings are tighter? Is there or is there not going to be a recession? I think this is the rumor. This is the rumor that we all are going to have to deal with, and you're going to have to deal with how you mentally get through this. And this moment right here, I have just a few words for you. So I want you to hang on, come right back, and I'm going to give you a sentence that you should never forget. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to She Means Fitness Business, and that's a division of Voice for Fitness, where at Voice for Fitness, my team believes you deserve to have a steady and stable income working with clients that you love. Like, do we need to work with the opposite kind, right? And the reason that you want to do it is because you want to be an inspirational example yourself to other midlife women, right? We want to walk the talk. We want to show them where we are and how it can be, and maybe how you got there with a mindset shift as well. So very often true. But the problem is, a lack of clients or a lack of revenue often, and that getting started is such a hard place. And I know, because even after 30 years of being in it, I scrapped where I was. And then I realized, oh no, I have to start building this business, but I need to also be working with consumers. I wanted to shift totally working with you, talking marketing and talking sales and talking how to build your business in a way that people not just want to work and hire a trainer or a coach, but they want you based on what you say, what you do, and how you do it and touch them. But then I realized I have to be demonstrating that the things I'm telling you are working. So I went back and said, all right, I'm going to reignite. But I was starting from zero. I'd been working at a university. I'd been building practices for years, but somebody else's. I was there. I was a pivotal part of being a trainer, being an instructor, being the instructor, group fitness manager, and then being the personal training manager or director. But it is not the same. And it changes everything. When you start promoting yourself, you realize how much easier it was to promote someone else. And I can't explain that phenomenon, but I think it comes back to maybe our childhood. But I want to share with you really what happens for us, and that is this. You have to identify how I build a business. You can't just be passionate about fitness. You have to be passionate about teaching someone about fitness and about articulating the words they need to hear. You need to be absolutely geeky, curious about the order you say things in, the tone of voice you say them in, and all of this is a piece of it. So what I want you to do is just get my business scorecard. It's the Health and Fitness Professionals Business Scorecard. Read it, go through the checklist, decide where am I right now? Where am I missing things? Where do I have things in place? And most likely what will happen is there will be things on this sheet where you will say, yes, I'm doing that in spades. You're doing the things you love in spades. And you probably have glaring gaps and you're avoiding those things because you don't love them. It's what we do. So like Brian Tracy says, eat the frog. It's time to do those things to actually be successful and get some help doing it. If you want it, you can reach out for a call. All right, let's dive into this. Yep, there is a threat of recession. So what are we going to do about it? Number one, there is a great speaker that I heard, and this was back in probably 2008. And you know what was going on then? There was a recession, right? And the speaker was just like, what if we just decide not to participate? Yep. So your mindset needs to be, I'm not participating. I can't go there. I can't go there like there's a recession and people are not going to want to spend money. I mean, what did we see over the pandemic? Do you know how long that lasted? Not spending money lasted about a month and a half. And then people were actually spending more money because they weren't commuting, they weren't traveling, they weren't eating out. Well, they were potentially eating in, but there was less money going out the window and people had more time because they weren't commuting. And again, they weren't traveling for fun either, but that people had more time on their hands thinking, now's the time to pay attention to me. I had more people, realtors, doctors, physicians, financial planners come out of the woodwork and get a coach. to work with, saying this is the perfect time for me to do it. And it was a very busy time for me and for our business because more people were buying. It can be the same. While certain people will cave in and say, oh, there's a recession and maybe now is not a good time to start a business, this is the absolutely best time in history to start a business, to dig in, because when there's a recession, certain people actually begin to accumulate and build their wealth. Are you going to be one of them? That's the question. So it is the first of the month as I record this. Last night I was reminded that I had to get something ordered because the special was almost over. I mean, I wanted to buy something and there was a month-long special. And not only did I order, but I ordered two because it was a while they last kind of thing. This is flying off the shelves message that they sent me. I ordered not only the product, but I ordered subscribe and save too, because that means I get priority. If they're low, they're going to come to me first, right? I'm going to know when something goes on special. And I'd seen this thing and I wanted to think about it because it said it was amazing, but I was thinking about whether it was different from other products that I've tried. I mean, come on, I'm 59. You've tried skincare products before too, right? We've bought them. They've set. We're not using them. We've ended up throwing them away because of the expiration date. Whether you're talking cosmetics or you're talking about skincare, it's happened to all of us. I'd ordered this from a fellow golf mom friend that I'd met years ago when our sons were playing on the same college golf team. I knew her, though, as an accountant. I met her and she was an accountant. So it took a minute for me to grasp that she was now a skincare consultant. And she's mine because I ordered through her. But I'd been watching her posts for a couple of years and she was having a lot of success. So it was either a really good product, she was really good at customer care, or both. And I just like her. And if everyone is talking about a recession, I say, good, let them talk. Do you know why? Because during recessions, people have committed to the things that are most important to them. If stress is higher, the need for what we do is greater. A recession proof or a recession post pandemic, by the way, will mean a growth of wealth for some of us who are in health and wellness because people have said, oh my gosh, this is so important. For the ones that don't allow their mindset to think this is hard or no one's spending money, it's not true. And I would challenge you that you may be using that as an excuse, right? It's just meaning you need to do other things than what you're doing that's not working. You may not be creating the right solution for them. Maybe it's not the right service or package or program. You may not be targeting the right customer. If you're just targeting women in menopause, I got news for you. That's, there was a whole array of, are they in perimenopause? Are they transitioning right now? Are they in postmenopause? Are they having an easy time, a good time? Are they in endurance exercise? Or they hate exercise? Are they in awareness they're losing muscle and losing bone density? Or are they just freaked out now because they just got that DEXA scan for the first time and they don't have any idea what that means to them? Are they somebody who cherishes the family that they have, and every decision needs to be on how it helps their family because they won't do it for themselves? Are they somebody who is totally in charge and mastery is their thing, and you're talking to them in a condescending voice and telling them what they should do, and they're never going to spend money with you because you make them feel like a child and they're like in charge of their own business? And I say that respectfully, but I hear it a lot. Listen to your own voice. Listen to your own podcast. Listen to your own videos and see, what does that sound like? I think we who are leaders, we want authority. Yes. We want credibility. Yes. But we don't want to be scolded or taught like a child or feel like we are in school. Do you know that many people will say they hate school? So when you use the term, you're going to learn this, you might want to rethink that, because learn is associated with school. Subtle, but this is true. And this is what you need to know when you're copywriting, and you are all the time. Your script for videos, you are copywriting your posts, you're copywriting your emails, all of it. And if you get any of it wrong, that's potentially why you're not getting traction. And you should and deserve to. Okay. So we want to make sure that our mindset is correct, that there are a lot of people who actually will be spending money. There are plenty of people who want and value their health and need a guide to help them get it. Maybe the solution you have right now is not. So this episode will be a quick reminder of some of the basics of selling so you can get more sales and do it with integrity. Because I know nobody wants to feel sleazy and salesy. Every company everywhere adds a sense of urgency and limited supply to their sale. You don't want to miss that one, but let's go in depth to what it is that you want to do in every communication. From most, oh, I take that back, actually, from least to most important. So stay with me till the end. That means I'm going to save the juicy part, because often this last one that I'm going to share with you is overlooked. Don't be that person. So to get more sales with these 4 key components, number 1, urgency. You have to create a need. So remember, I said I ordered this amazing. So the next time you see my skin, ask me or tell me how glowing it is, right? What I'm using. But I had to, because the end of the month perks, the opportunity to get those was going to expire. Could I have bought that today, which is the first, meaning the special is over? I could, but I would have missed out on the stuff, right? And you also, if you're going to create that urgency, I don't know about you, but I feel integrity means hard close. Like if you've said the doors are closing, they're closing, and you're sorry. I know, can't get into this one, but put yourself on that waiting list. Will be the first. You'll be the first to know. And meanwhile, here's something you can get started with. That's how we handle that behind the scenes. I'm the most upset when my team says, we're going to let them in. We can give them this behind the scenes. I'm like, oh, I don't know, guys. I don't like that. So we said it closes. So we train people to think we lie if we do that. So you have to think about how you feel about that. But create a sense of urgency. That means there's a limited time offer. It's only good for 1 week, and then mean it. Okay. Mean it. It ends, like it's over. The bonuses go away. So that could be one way that you create urgency, meaning maybe something is open for a full month, but like in this case, they didn't say it like this, but the bonuses did go away. I couldn't have gotten, in on a membership, gotten another discount in terms of percentage today that I got when I ordered it 2 days ago, right before the end of the thing. The price goes up. We'll use urgency often when we've increased. So I've had a membership since 2016. The price has increased, I think 3, maybe 4 times. We increase it a significant amount each time, so we don't have to do it again all the time or frequently. And we let everybody who's already in and maintains their membership stay at a grandfathered rate. I like it that way. I would feel treated well, and I would think twice about leaving if that were me. Because if somebody leaves and comes back, they no longer have that place. That's not their rate. They would have to pay a new rate. I have some people paying a really low rate right now, and that's okay. We call them our legacy members, and I like it. If I were losing money on them, I would rethink that, but I'm not. So you've got to factor that in. But when we're doing a price increase, we let people know 30 days before and say, look, at the end of the year, that annual rate is going to increase. Right now, if you're in and you stay in, you'll get there. But if you want to join us, when we open the doors for this month, this will be the last time you get this rate. Once we close, the rate increases. That's how we handle that. That's urgency. Makes them have to do it now or want to. Scarcity is another one. So scarcity means there's a limited number of them. So it's not a limited time. There could be both, like it's 7 days or whenever all 100 of these are gone. Or we open up the retreat, it's like there's 15 spots. And when they're gone, they're gone. I can't accommodate anymore. Our housing is set up that way, or whatever limited number of spots at the spa or the restaurant. So what do you have a limited number in? And maybe that is, we're liquidating. We did this when we had whey protein, and I still thought that was a good idea. But we now know dairy sensitivities are like 95% of our community, and we don't want to contribute to it because we were kind of suggesting they buy it and first suggesting they test, and a lot of women weren't testing. So felt like I was contributing to the problem, and that didn't sit well with me either. So when I suggested it, we only told, because we didn't want to promote it to people who shouldn't have it. But I only told people who were buyers of it and said, look, we have a limited quality. I'm letting you know first that when these are gone, they're gone. And we're going to get rid of them. We're going to remove it from the website. So there you go. And that kind of verbiage, when they're gone, right? Number 3, specificity. So it's got to solve a special problem. This is really important. And a lot of times there's just, we're doing a program. This is our last round of the summer. I heard someone who's actually very successful say this yesterday. And it's like, I don't know, unless you have a huge line of people waiting for anything that you're going to do when you say this is the last round of the summer, you better tell me what problem you're solving so that I even care. I want to come in. And I think not enough of us do this. We're talking about, it's time to get in. I'm doing this challenge. Well, about what? Hello, can you help me out a little bit here? That's kind of just wide open and ambiguous. So solves a specific problem. Please put that forefront. And, people want a better metabolism. Your program might help them cleanse their liver. Now, that may not apply to you, but I'm giving an example. But people don't wake up in the morning saying, I want to cleanse my liver this month. I guarantee you. Like, there may be one out of 10,000, but the rest of them are saying, why can't I lose this fat? My metabolism is screwed up. I've damaged it. I want, a better metabolism. That's what they're saying. So you need to talk about that problem in your sales content, not the fact that you're doing a challenge. What does it do for them, right? And for the individual, not their spouse, their daughter. And this is really important too, right? So you want to make sure that you're saying why it fixes the problem for you right now at the moment that you're in. Like, we know what they want. You're in this midlife moment. Your metabolism is sluggish. You're thinking X, Y, and Z. The way that makes you feel is this. And here's the problem. And we're going to fix it. And I'm going to tell you right now, no, you will not lose 5 pounds in 5 days. However, right? So you're going to set them up for their expectations as well. That's really important. But people appreciate that up front. What can I expect? What are the changes? Last here, and this is the most important of all of these, the context when you deliver these messages. They have to be relative to where this individual that you're putting the message in front of is in their relationship to you. How long have you known them? So if you do a good job talking about urgency and scarcity, but most especially specificity, come back to that one, because I told you it's from least important to most important. If you're not specific with how it helps me and talking to me as if we're practically strangers, if we are, or I've been on your email list for 3 years. Do you have a way to segment those people So for your brand new leads, you should not be talking to them the same way that you're talking to somebody who's been a loyal, even a lead or prospect on your list for a very long time. There's a difference. So you want to put a bubble around brand new people on your list. And if you're not doing that, you're just dumping them into, here's my email list and I'm emailing everybody and everybody gets the same message all the time when I'm emailing. You may want to rethink that because it's probably not working very well. And context again, relative to where this individual is in their journey, the awareness of the problem that they have. Do you know that you're talking to them? And this comes into also, did they just opt in? Okay. What did they opt in for? Like, just came out of a group where we talked about this. There is a lead magnet that I have that is about how to do lunges without getting hurt. And if you can't do them, how do you substitute what will work those muscles in the same way without any risk? Right. So somebody opts in for that. And suddenly I'm talking about, um, a bone density building program. And they're getting all the emails for that. How well is that going to play out? I just confused something, right? They came in for how do I specifically do these exercises? And then I'm talking to them about bone density. Now, there may be a segue in there. I think there definitely is, but it's not one I can make in. I take them through these, 7 different emails associated with this lead magnet. I can't, say, okay, on day 5, I'm also going to send them this bone building course that I'm offering. Or on day 9 or 8, they're immediately done with the lunges and I'm going to send this, hey, you also might like this. That is appropriate in certain cases, but it's got to be very, very relevant. Or, hey, I have this brand new Pilates course, right? That's probably even a bigger reach, but you've got to make sure. I mean, how did that person ever make the jump from lunges to Pilates? Why would I do that? You're just like throwing things at the wall. And I know you're not, hopefully, but you might be, and then realize, oh my goodness, I'm doing this and I didn't even realize it. Because if I think about my list and maybe how it's segmented, I'm not quite there. I've done this before. And I realized that, gosh, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, I went back through like every funnel I've ever built. And that's a lot. Right? I mean, every funnel for a program, every funnel for a freebie. How many funnels was that? Many, many, many in our Infusionsoft system. I went through them and said, okay, no, we're going to put a protective wall around these people. When they come in, they're getting taken care of. They're getting no distractions so that I can pull a tag and exclude them from anything that is a new program that is irrelevant to them until a certain point in time where it is relevant. So make sure the context of what you send them is making sense. I sometimes have had some part-time help and they might be working with creating posts from podcasts. And, the sentences that they might put, the context of those sentences, I just think, what does that mean to someone reading that sentence? And so I no longer hand that off, right? So I either need somebody who is much more skilled and who can understand context and how, if you were just seeing this cold on the page, we're strangers, it must make sense to them. Can you do that? Right? So I've got to have somebody who can do that, but context is huge. So anybody who might be posting for you, make sure they also understand this and that you're not just turning it over. You're going back through all of those posts and saying, hey, you know what? We need to change this language. Let's go in a different direction. It's my fault because it is, right? You're the boss. You're pulling the shots. So you don't just hand something over and say, oh, you know social media more than me, so I'm just going to let you do your job. We do have to get out of the way, but only after we're sure we've hired the right people. So if you're hiring somebody who you're not paying very much for, we all know you can do that. then maybe not the best answer, because it could actually be more expensive for you to put those messages out there that are not helping you. So, show notes today will be here, and it's fitnessmarketingmastery.com/get more sales. And these tips are gold. Come back to them, and they're not necessarily new, but the 4 pieces and components are urgency, scarcity, specificity, and context. And they are equally important. However, if you didn't have urgency, but you had specificity and context, you would probably still make sales. If you didn't have scarcity and you still had specificity and context, you would still make sales. And if you didn't have specificity or context, you probably wouldn't make any sales. You really need those 2 first. So read everything scrupulously so that you can decide, maybe even review a recent launch and look at how well did that work for me. All right, what are you waiting for? Sales are going to happen this fall. There doesn't have to be a recession in your head. I'll see you on the flip side.